ट्रिवियल सा क्वेश्चन पूछता है या कुछ समझ नहीं पा रहा है जो कि उसको समझना चाहिए एट दिस एज, तो कहीं ना कहीं अंदर में एक झुंझलाहट आती है, मतलब एक इरिटेशन हो जाता है। आई जस्ट थिंक कि उतना छोटा छोटा बच्चा लोगों को कैसे पढ़ाते होंगे टीचर, मतलब उनका तो हर क्वेश्चन ही ट्रिवियल होता होगा। या प्लीज कम। ओके, गुड मॉर्निंग।
Morning,
या
sir.
ऑनलाइन ऑडिबल
Yes, sir.
विजिबल? ओके, गुड मॉर्निंग. So before I begin, let me announce tomorrow we are having a class between 10:30 to 12:30. ठीक है? And tomorrow I am beginning with research methodology. ठीक? I am today going to complete with therapy, and thereafter we will take the concept of mental health. Right? If mental health chapter is not completed today, then it will be carried forward on Monday. But tomorrow I have set out to start research method because tomorrow is a very auspicious day, Saturday. So moving forward with cognitive therapy, we have Aaron Beck, who has given Beck's therapy. Aaron Beck coming up with Beck's therapy. According to Aaron Beck, the client, according to Aaron Beck, the client may acquire, the client may acquire a cognitive triad. The client may have acquired cognitive triad that is maladaptive in nature. For example, the belief that nothing was good in past, nothing is good at present, and therefore nothing shall be good in future. This negativistic cognitive triad leads to feeling of helplessness, lack of control in one's own life, and hence depression. So suppose somebody believes that nothing was good in past, nothing is good in present, and nothing is going to be good in future, then the person will enter into a gloomy and pessimistic outlook with life, right? So this therapy, that is Aaron Beck's therapy, includes certain stages. Certain stages. Stage number 1 is challenge stage. Challenge stage. The client is challenged. The client is challenged to logically explain the negative mental set. The client is challenged to logically explain the negative mental set that makes the client feel hopelessness. The client is challenged to logically explain the negative mental set, that is cognitive triad, that makes the client feel hopelessness. Stage number 2, identification of relationship between thoughts and behavior. The client is made to identify the relationship between negative thoughts and destructive behavior, or you can say negative thoughts and self-defeating behaviors.
And self-defeating behavior.
Self-defeating behavior. Negative thoughts and emotions make a person behave in a manner that confirms his or her apprehensions. Negative thoughts and emotions make a person behave in a manner that confirms his or her apprehensions. Okay? And hence, the person develops the mental set that future is gloomy. And hence the person develops a mental set, future is gloomy, as present and past have been sad. So suppose you are occupied with negative thoughts and emotions that something bad is going to happen, something bad is going to occur. Your behavior will be such that you will try to confirm your mental hypothesis and you will end up something bad. You will end up in something bad. Because you do not want to prove yourself wrong. तो मैं ठान के बैठा हूं कि मेरे साथ बुरा होगा और मैं चाहता हूं कि मेरी बात गलत ना हो. My hypothesis should not fail. So unconsciously and subconsciously, all my actions will be such that eventually what I was expecting, that will get confirmed. And this will ratify my belief that yes, nothing is happening good in present, nothing happened good in past, therefore nothing is going to happen good in future. Are you getting it? So making the client identify the relationship between his negative thoughts and his destructive or self-defeating actions. Right? Now, number third. Third stage involves breaking links with past and focusing at present. breaking links with the past and focusing at the present. So it involves helping the client erase the past memories and focus on the present problems. Erase the past memories and focus on the present problems. Okay. When the client focuses on the present problems, or you can say the therapist places both the threats as well as opportunities. The therapist places both the threats as well as opportunities in the present problem for purview of the client. The therapist places both the threat as well as opportunities, threats as well as opportunities in the present problem for the purview of the client. For example, suppose client in the present has a physical disease, some kind of illness. Now client will provide the patient with the information regarding the threats with the disease. At the same time, the client will be also provided with the solutions. What are the treatment and the opportunities? Now, what happens with this kind of client that they do not go to the doctor for treatment? I'm just giving an example. Suppose you have a disorder, you have some disease. Now, this disease, of course, is painful. So you have all the valid reason to be sad. But if you do not go to the doctor, are you going to have treatment of that? No. Now, what the client is doing, the client is simply focusing on the pain, the disease, and being sad and doing nothing of it. The client has to be shown that if you visit the doctor, if you go to an opportunity, you can overcome the threat, or maybe you emerge as more healthy person. Are you getting it? Therefore, fourth stage is execution. In execution stage, the client is made to pursue the opportunities. Say in our example, the patient is made to visit the doctor. ठीक है, अगर बीमारी है तो विजिट द डॉक्टर. Execution stage leads to successful solutions to client's life. Execution stage leads to successful solution to client's life. And final stage is plan similar strategies for future. That is planning stage. Plan similar strategies for future. So once you visit a doctor and the doctor gives you a treatment, you break link with the past and you focus that if present is good, the future can also be good. So planning stage involves linking the present with future. So you can also write linking the present with future. So basically, Beck's therapy involves breaking link with the past and focusing on the present, using adaptive strategy to solve the present problems, getting successful solutions from present problems, and then transferring the same strategies to solve the future. So that negativistic mental set is broken. Okay? And now coming to the next therapy, which is called Gestalt therapy. Gestalt therapy is based on the maxim whole is more than sum of its parts. Whole is more than sum of its parts. Like most of the problems, confusions, misunderstandings in life happen because we are not able to see the complete picture. We do not see the complete picture. We may listen to one aspect and we may be totally blindfolded to the other. So things appear to be terribly wrong when you listen to only one aspect. But when you see the whole picture, you find the real cause of the problems. And in fact, most of the time, there are no problems. Okay? In fact, most of the time, there are no problems. Did I talk about Russia and Ukraine problem? I just began with a new batch in ethics paper, and several students in that batch, were quite disturbed by the fact that look at Indian government, our students are suffering in Ukraine, and government is not taking a stand against Ukraine, against Russia. So they were somewhere confused. They were not able to be proud of being Indians simply because of the fact that the government is not opposing Russia. So why is India not taking a stand? What kind of diplomacy is it? Now, could you explain what is the problem with this kind of perception? Anyone?
Just focusing on the present problem and not considering about the historical past that Indians had with Russia.
Okay.
The benefits of it.
Okay. So here is a argument coming from the class that we are not focusing on past relationship with Russians, rather we are taking care of present day diplomacy. Okay. Partha?
Sir, we are not focusing the problem entirely because there is many parts of like the geographical presence. In this geographical presence, we cannot go for entirely for the ethics only. We need to see the other aspect, like our presence we are just location just close to the China and other things also. So only the morally we can do something, but it should be practical.
Is India morally incorrect for not taking a stand against Russia? Justify Indian action to be morally correct. Batao mujhe.
Sir, it's correct. Morally also correct. Partially.
How?
Sir, look from the point of view of our citizens, then it is correct. If we look from the point of view of Ukrainian citizens, then it might be.
No, we are not talking about Ukrainian citizens. We are talking about our foreign policy. We are following the foreign policy that was drafted by our first Prime Minister, Pandit Nehru. India, from very beginning after independence, has resolved that India will not side up with any of the power blocs, either NATO or Warsaw Russia, Soviet Union. Today also, India is taking the same stand. We are not going to stand with either of the power blocs. Because here the fighting parties are not Ukraine or Russia. The fighting parties are NATO and communist world. So taking a side with Ukraine means India is siding up with NATO. Taking a side with Russia involves taking a side with communist parties. So India is advocating diplomacy, talk it out and sort it out. So we have always been part of NAM, non-aligned movement. So we cannot align to either of the side. So ethically also, Indian stand is correct. But if you look at it from point of view of just war is happening between two countries, then obviously India will appear to be culprit, not taking a stand, being opportunist. But if you see the whole situation, हम तो वही कर रहे हैं जो शुरू से करते आए हैं. हम किसी का साथ नहीं देंगे. यहाँ तो पूरा इशू ही है NATO वर्सेस कम्युनिस्ट वर्ल्ड. Are you getting it? और हम किसी का भी पक्ष लेंगे तो हम एक ग्रुप में आ जाएंगे.
सर 1972 में जब रशिया इंडिया के हेल्प किया था, मैं वो भी तो कर सकता हूँ ना 1972 में. 71 और
इंडिया ने इंडिया को हेल्प किया, दैट इज पॉजिटिव ड्यूटी ऑफ एनी स्टेट. इंडिया ने भी नेपाल को हेल्प किया जब उसके अर्थक्वेक आए थे.
yes, sir.
Are you getting it? We supplied the whole world with vaccines when we were in requirement of vaccine. So helping other state is a positive duty of any state. That is a moral obligation. So here, if Russians have helped India during 1972, it simply is a positive, that's Russian decision. That's not Indian decision. Are you getting it?
And
So
so
anyway.
that time America was against India. This the placed the warship in the Bay of Bengal also.
Obviously, America was funding Pakistan.
Yes,
America was aiding Pakistan, the hostile neighbor.
yes, sir.
ठीक है, तो वो तो होगा ही. Anyways, now Gestalt therapy, if you look at it, Gestalt therapy is conducted in group session. No, sorry, Gestalt therapy is conducted over an individual in which the individual is given a perception in which the individual is given a perception of both aspects of the problem. ठीक है. Gestalt therapy works on the principle of hermeneutics. Gestalt therapy works on the principle of hermeneutics. E हो गया, hermeneutics, in which the individual is helped to develop isomorphism. In which the individual is helped to develop isomorphism. In which the individual is helped to develop isomorphism. Isomorphism is a perception. Isomorphism is a perception of understanding. Isomorphism is perception of understanding both sides of the argument. Isomorphism is the understanding or perception of understanding of both sides of the argument. In Gestalt therapy, the individual who is having mental distress is made to sit on the chair labeled by his name. In Gestalt therapy, the distressed individual is made to sit on the chair labeled by his or her name. Now see, suppose your name is A, and you are having distress because you have a fight with your friend or wife or husband, whatever, B, and that is causing distress in your life. So there will be a chair in which your name will be written A, and the client will be sitting in A. ठीक है, अपने नाम वाले चेयर पे बैठी. Now the person with whom A has a problem, let that be B. So he will be sitting in the chair of A and he will be presenting his complaints with B, imagining that B is listening to the problems, to the complaints. Now once he has finished, this person will be made to move to the chair B. A will be made to shift to chair B, and then A will be asked to imagine that now you are no more A, you are B. So by being B, give counter arguments against A. So think like B. If you have to argue against this complaint, being B, then what will be your arguments? So now he is playing the role of B and he is complaining against A. Once he is done, he is again shifted to chair A. Now, whatever questions have been raised by B, please answer them. And on rotational basis, the person is made to switch over from A to B, B to A, repeated number of times until and unless the person gets isomorphism, understanding of both aspects of the problem. Once he gets understanding of both aspects of the problem, the distress is gone. The distress is gone. So if I write letter 6 in my palm, it will look 6 from my perspective, but it will appear 9 from your perspective. And we are fighting because of misunderstanding, because we are not able to see both perspectives. So the distressed individual is made to sit in the chair labeled by his name and then asked to express the grievance, and then asked to express the complaints, and then asked to express the complaints that one has with the other person in the relationship, and asked to express the complaint that one has with the other person in the relationship. Subsequently, the person is made to shift. Subsequently, the person is made to shift on the other chair labeled with the name of the enemy. On the other chair labeled with the name of the enemy, and counter argue the complaints. Once again, the chair is shifted and the dialogue continues. Once again, the chair is shifted and the dialogue continues. The shifting takes place over repeated number of times, leading to development of holistic perception. The shifting continues repeated number of times, leading to development of holistic perception. And hence the distress is gone. And hence the distress is gone. ठीक है? And finally, biofeedback therapy. This therapy has not actually taken shape as of now. It is in the process of evolution. Biofeedback therapy. Biofeedback therapy is used for treating panic disorder. It is used for treating panic disorder and has produced modest outcomes, not very encouraging outcomes, modest outcomes. Biofeedback therapy attempts to extend the control of brain. Biofeedback therapy attempts to extend the control of brain over involuntary organs of the body. Over involuntary organs of the body like heart, liver, kidney.
Sir, biofeedback therapy extend then?
Biofeedback therapy attempts to extend the control of brain over involuntary organs of the body like kidney, liver, heart, etc. अब आप बताओ, can you actually regulate your heartbeat by your thoughts? You can, although difficult, but you can. Can you regulate your metabolic rate, the way liver is digesting food, just by your thoughts? You can. In a deep state of yoga and meditation, you can. Okay. Can you control your kidney function? So this is biofeedback therapy. So what is done in biofeedback therapy? The person is fitted with all kind of machines that provides him. The person is fitted with, the client is fitted with different kinds of machines that monitor the functioning of voluntary organs, involuntary organs. The person or the client is fitted with machines that monitor the functioning of involuntary organs. The readings are displayed on a screen. The readings are displayed on a screen. The client is given interceptive exposure. The client is given interceptive exposure to his bodily sensation. The client is given interceptive exposure to his bodily sensations while he observes the readings on the screen. The client is given interceptive exposure to his or her bodily sensations while he monitors or observes the readings on the screen. ठीक है, जैसे अपने दिल की धड़कनों को महसूस करो और देखो धड़कनें कितनी रेट में जा रही है स्क्रीन पे. Now the client is asked to control the readings on the screen. Now the client is asked to control the readings on the screen by focusing attention over different involuntary organs of the body by focusing attention on the different involuntary organs of the body. ठीक है, अपने अलग अलग इनवॉलंटरी ऑर्गन पे फोकस करो और देखो कि मॉनिटर में रीडिंग बदलता है कि नहीं बदलता है। एक दिन में होगा नहीं, इसलिए मैंने कहा कि वेरी मॉडेस्ट आउटकम, लेकिन करने वाले कर देते हैं। ठीक है, सो दिस इज थेरेपी एंड नाउ
Sir, this is used for, we use it for white coat fear therapy in our college.
सॉरी,
Sir, we use it for white coat fear in children in our department for removing white coat fear.
ओके, सो हाउ डू यू डू इट?
Sir, we use BP apparatus, and when the patient comes, so
Okay.
mostly in children, so we use BP apparatus, and the patient, if the patient had white coat fear associated with dentist, doctor, so we'll ask him to check the monitor, the BP apparatus, and we ask him to relax so that the reading will go down.
Okay.
Subsequently, not in first visit. In first visit, the child is still afraid of white coat, and the reading is increasing. But subsequently, later on, his BP, when his BP is normal, and then we start the treatment.
Okay, okay. But I think it is quite immature up till now, means not very widely prevalent, this kind of treatment.
No, sir, we use in children's. We done thesis
Okay.
on this, and thesis for white coat fear only. White coat fear or object fear, subject fear.
मतलब for treatment of phobias, panic disorder,
For
generally
treatment of
anxiety related disorders.
panic disorder, yes, sir.
Right,
Associated.
right. Very nice. Thank you for telling me.
Sir, this kind of therapy also can be used in case of the positive psychology, because in some institute use like for autosuggestion for good behavior, inculcating the good behavior, such type of therapy also used. Like in ISA Foundation, they use such kind of. Yes, sir.
ईशा फाउंडेशन में करते हैं, ऑटो सजेशन देते हैं.
Yes, yes.
Have you done the course?
Yes, sir.
Very nice. Okay, Neha.
So I had a doubt in gestalt therapy.
Please go ahead.
So when we say that about the setup wherein the person is first A, the one who has a problem with someone, and we term the other person as B. Is the B person actually present, or is this imaginary?
No, B person is not present.
So that chair is empty, or the therapist?
That is empty. That is empty. Okay, because if B is present there, it will start a heated argument and a fight will begin. ठीक है, इसलिए B को वहां रखते ही नहीं है. Okay. So now we will see the topic of mental health and well-being. So normally the pattern of question which is asked in UPSC is that there will be one question from mental disorder and another question from mental well-being. So mental health and mental well-being we shall discuss. Just give me a minute. my learned colleague right now asked me a question that in sociology there has been a new topic introduced, that is political sociology. And there is a very difficult question. Can you help me? The question was, when does a protest becomes a movement? Do you have an answer?
Mass participation when many causes becomes a single cause.
See, protest is an idea. Movement is an action.
Extremity of the separation. Extremity of the separation.
Sorry?
Suppress करना जब extreme हो जाता है.
नहीं, मैं कह रहा हूं कि protest is an idea. Movement is an action. Movement का मतलब क्या होता है? There is motion. There is action. यही अंतर होता है. Protest तो कोई भी कर सकता है. An individual can also do a protest. It's an idea. But it becomes a movement when people incite into action. And when does a movement becomes a revolution? See, a movement becomes a revolution when people wait for a change. Okay. Now, quite happy with my answer. Anyways, mental health and well-being. Now, WHO, World Health Organization, defines health. ये देखो, बहुत ध्यान से देखो, definition of health क्या है. WHO defines health as a sense of or a state of complete physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being. WHO defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being. And all these four parameters are intrinsically related. If you are not keeping a good physical health, you cannot stay happy in mind. You cannot be mentally healthy. You will show irritation, you will show depression, you will show withdrawal, you won't participate. Okay? If you are mentally unhappy, you will harm your body. You will enter into substance abuse or solvent abuse because you are mentally unhappy. You will look for ways and means to spoil your body and kill yourself. So committing suicide bit by bit when you are mentally unhealthy, because you are not happy with life, dissatisfied with life, you will try to end the life in whatever possible manner. Just like when you are in a depressed mood, you say, "Mujhe bhook nahi hai, I don't feel like eating." Now, when you don't eat, who is harmed and what is harmed? Your health is harmed, right? Social well-being. When you are rejected, alienated in the society, when you do not get acceptance and status in society, they will adversely affect both your mental as well as physical health. Are you getting it? So social well-being, that means whether I am accepted in the society as a legitimate member, whether I am being given the proper position and place and respect which I deserve, right? So when I am not accepted in the society, I become against the society. That means I become an antisocial person. Are you getting it? And what is spiritual well-being? Spiritual well-being is related to self-control and choices in life. Spiritual well-being is related to self-control and exercising choices in life. So can I control my desires? Can I delay my gratifications? And can I freely speak what I want to say? Can I do what I wish to do? Now tell me, who can control one's desires? Who can control one's desires and delay one's gratification? One who has the means to satisfy them. मेरी बात समझ रहे हैं? So once an individual has the means to fulfill one's gratifications and desires and still is able to delay them, that gives a person the sense of spiritual well-being. So it's just like, who is capable of forgiving somebody? Who is capable of forgiving somebody? One who has the power of destroying somebody. The person who does not have the power to destroy somebody does not enjoy any right to forgive somebody. ठीक है? एक संस्कृत में श्लोक था जो मैंने स्कूल में पढ़ा था, क्षमा शोभंती उस भुजंग को जिसके पास गरल हो. मतलब पता है आपको? भुजंग सांप को कहते हैं, स्नेक. So that snake is capable of forgiving who has venom. वो भुजंग क्या क्षमा करे जो दंतहीन विषहीन हो. ठीक है? जिस सांप में न दांत है न जहर है, वो माफ क्या करेगा किसी को? So spiritual well-being, see, the word spiritual comes from spirit. Spirit means ethyl alcohol. So if you open the bottle of spirit in one corner of the room, it should smell to the other corner. Means self-expression is being spiritual. You can be spiritual in variety of ways. Lata ji was spiritual by her singing. You can see, you can sense how she expresses herself in every song, the emotions that she adds. Sachin Tendulkar was spiritual in playing cricket. So any form of self-expression is called spirituality, and if you want to express yourself, you should have that means to decide the life choices. If you are running from pillar to post for your basic needs and livelihood, you will not be able to express yourself, neither you will be able to exercise your choices. So it will be like beggars are no choosers. Are you getting it? But once you have the means of resources, you have the resources, you have the means, you have the control of your life, only then can you delay your gratification, and only then can you express yourself. This is spiritual well-being. So you can write 2 sentences. Social well-being comes through acceptance. Social well-being comes through acceptance, care, and respect from the society. Acceptance, care, and respect from the society. While spiritual well-being is correlated with self-control, while spiritual well-being is correlated with self-control, delay of gratifications, and exercising one's choice, which of course depends upon being resourceful, which of course depends upon being resourceful. ठीक है? Both social and spiritual well-being have a profound impact on physical and mental health. Both social and spiritual well-being have a profound impact on physical and mental health. Downey, an important name. Downey defines health as more than prevention of disease. Downey defines health as more than prevention of disease. It also includes promotion of well-being. It is not merely prevention of disease. It also includes promotion of well-being. You may be free from any kind of disease, but then if you do not have any friend, if you do not have any hobby, if you do not have any activity in life, how long are you going to preserve that health? Okay. So, having a very broad conception about health. Okay. Now see, I'll give you an interesting example, although I'm not promoting anything. My childhood friend, when I was in college, his grandmother suffered a heart attack. So we took the granny to the hospital, and she was treated for the attack. Now she was kept in ICU. Next day, she was 90 plus in age. Next day, she refused taking medicine and said, I want to talk to the doctor. Now she used to live in village, right? Now the doctor himself has to turn up, because doctor was elder brother of one of my friends. तो वो कार्डियो के बहुत बड़े डॉक्टर थे. And she insisted that as long as you do not give me a bidi to smoke, I won't consume a single medicine. पिछले रात हार्ट अटैक आया है, ठीक? आज सुबह क्या मांग रही है? बीड़ी. बोलती कि बीड़ी के बगैर मेरा दिन शुरू नहीं होता है. जब पुराने जमाने के लोग बीड़ी पीते थे, उनमें उनको वेलबींग दिखता था. Surprisingly, the doctor got her बीड़ी. The ICU was vacated only for her बीड़ी consumption. उनको बीड़ी पिलाया गया, फिर उन्होंने चाय पिया, दवाई खाई. अब आप बताओ इस बिहेवियर को तुम क्या बोलोगे? टेक्निकली स्पीकिंग बीड़ी नहीं पीना चाहिए, फिजिकली वो हार्मफुल हो सकता है, लेकिन दवा नहीं खाना ज्यादा हार्मफुल हो सकता है. Not taking the medicine can be more dangerous rather than smoking a bidi. So different people have different ways of staying healthy and happy, and WHO takes into consideration all these parameters. Okay? WHO takes into consideration all these parameters. So here we are not going to be very prescriptive that this is good and this is bad. Well, you have to see the person as a whole. Okay? Now, in the decades of 1960, a group of psychologists in the decades of 1960, a group of psychologists got dissatisfied got dissatisfied with physics envy and medicalization of psychology. In the decades of 1960, a group of psychologists got dissatisfied with physics envy and medicalization of psychology. Now I will explain you what is physics envy and what is medicalization. Behaviorists always wanted to make psychology at par with other pure sciences, which is known as physics envy. So human beings were treated as guinea pigs for experimentation. The experiments conducted over rats and pigeons were extended over human behavior, just to make psychology stand at par with pure sciences like physics. Are you getting it? So this envy, jealousy with physics led psychology to become mechanical rather than being more human. So that human touch was lost due to physics envy. That human touch was lost due to physics envy. Ki psychology can be at par with physics. Psychology can be at par with physics.
अरे फिजिक्स एंड नहीं होता तो हो सकता है क्लिनिकल साइकोलॉजी आते हैं
मैं उस पर भी आ रहा हूं. And second objection was medicalization of psychology. Now, clinical psychology always attempted to increase the individual's resilience against stress. Clinical psychology always attempted to increase the individual's resilience against stress. So a clinical psychologist will tell you how to cope up with stress. And by training you how to cope up with stress, he is actually preparing you to take more stress, increasing the resilience against stress. However, clinical psychology does not provide a solution for stress. Are you getting it? Clinical psychology is not providing any solution for stress. For example, clinical psychologists will train the client how to deal with feeling of loneliness. Clinical psychology will teach the client, train the client how to deal with loneliness. However, it does not provide any solution for somebody being abandoned. So why should somebody feel lonely unless and until somebody has abandoned him? So the cause of the problem lies in what? In the community, not in the individual. Why should one feel lonely unless one has been rejected? So problem lies in the community that has rejected the person, not the person. So clinical psychology ignored the fact that most of the problems in the individual's life originate from the community. So positive psychologists advocated promotion of community health and community services. Okay? Community health and community services. So if you have a supportive and compassionate community around yourself, you will not feel alienated, you will not feel lonely. And you don't have to learn techniques how to deal with loneliness and alienation. अगर समाज आपको इतना एक्सेप्टिंग मिल जाए तो फिर लोनलीनेस का प्रॉब्लम जड़ से खत्म हो जाएगा. सो क्लिनिकल साइकोलॉजी सिंपली ट्रीटेड द सिम्टम, इट डिड नॉट ट्रीटेड द डिजीज. Therefore, this dissatisfied psychologist originated a new branch of psychology known as positive psychology. So a new branch of psychology originated in protest against physics envy and medicalization of psychology, known as positive psychology. Positive psychology focuses on improving the quality of life. Positive psychology focuses upon improving the quality of life and sense of well-being. Okay? So now let us see what is sense of well-being. In short, SWB. Sense of well-being is feeling of general satisfaction and happiness with life. Sense of well-being is general satisfaction and feeling of happiness with life. SWB is free from apprehensions It is free from apprehensions about threats, and it brings greater control over one's life. And it brings greater control over one's life. Sense of well-being, that is SWB, depends upon how we evaluate our life events. How we evaluate our life events. There are two ways of evaluating the life events. Cognitive evaluation and emotional evaluation. Cognitive evaluation and emotional evaluation. Cognitive evaluation involves objectively estimating one's quality of life. Objectively estimating one's quality of life. For example, number of hours. For example, number of hours spent at work and the number of hours spent with family may be quantified. Now watch. If somebody is spending majority of the time in work and very less of the time in family, then the quality of life is compromised. After all, why are you working? For whom are you working? It is for the family. And then you have no time for the family. You are left with no time for the family. That means your life is not in place. ये सही जीवन नहीं है. इसका मतलब आपके काम में उतना दम नहीं है. It is not yielding enough results that can give you time and space for your family. तो ऐसा काम क्या करना जिसमें परिवार के लिए समय नहीं है? इस काम में ही दम नहीं है. काम तो ऐसा हो कि number of work hours invested in work and number of hours given to the family should be balanced. So cognitive evaluation is objective evaluation about quality of life. ठीक है? Emotional evaluation. Emotional evaluation involves estimating the frequency with which one experiences pleasant emotions, experiencing the frequency with which one experiences pleasant emotions and unpleasant emotions. ठीक है? Experiencing the frequency with which one experiences pleasant emotion and the unpleasant emotion. Suppose there is a fight between husband and wife. So both come into conclusion that this was a bad day. No. The fight lasted for 10 minutes. But within 24 hours, there have been many pleasant experiences that both have enjoyed. And they are forgetting that. So estimate how many pleasant experiences. Just before the fight, you watched a movie and both of you enjoyed the movie. That was a pleasant experience. ठीक है? Before the fight, both of them had a very nice dinner. That was a pleasant experience. So, objectively, आप calculate कीजिए how frequently you feel pleasant emotion and how frequently you feel unpleasant emotions. ठीक है? So, this two type of evaluation affects your sense of well-being. ठीक है? Now, Downey has developed a scale to measure sense of well-being. Downey has developed a scale to measure sense of well-being, which is known as subjective sense of well-being. Downey has developed a scale to measure sense of well-being, which is known as subjective sense of well-being. The term subjective has been added. The term subjective has been added so that the test administrator do not impose their diagnosis, so that the test administrator do not impose their diagnosis, and the respondent, that is test takers, and the respondents are free to express themselves. Are free to express themselves. ठीक है? मतलब there will be a scale again in which some statements will be there and you have to answer against those statements. Now you are free to answer what gives you sense of well-being, and whatever you have given in your answer, I will take it as the final word. Clinical psychologist will not judge how happy you are. You will judge how happy you are. If you are happy, working too much, resting less, then I will not say that you have a bad quality life. I would say, okay, if you're happy in that, it's okay. It's your choice. If you are happy not living in a metropolitan city, but you are happy in living in a village or in natural beauty, I will agree. Okay, okay, that gives you happiness, that gives you sense of well-being. So, simply, like suppose there is a housewife who whole time takes care of the family without bothering about herself. From the perspective of clinical psychology, I would say that she is not having a happy life. वो अपने लिए नहीं जी पा रही है, उनके जीवन में बहुत तकलीफ है. But if I ask the housewife, she would say, I derive happiness in taking care of my family. I don't derive happiness taking care of myself. I derive happiness taking care of my family. So that will be the final word that is coming from the housewife. That is why this term subjective was added. Okay? Okay. The clinical psychologists do not impose their judgments about others' life. The clinical psychologists in this scale do not impose their judgments about client's life. It was found that housewives who spend their whole lives serving for the family, experience no lesser sense of well-being, as compared to competent women who work outside the home. As compared to competent women who work outside the home and are financially independent. Okay? Now, sense of well-being is a desirable condition for mental health. Sense of well-being is a desirable condition for mental health, but not a necessary condition. Sense of well-being is a desirable condition for mental health, but not a necessary condition. ये एक प्रॉब्लम है सेंस ऑफ वेलबींग में. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, a criminal may be having sense of well-being. A criminal may have sense of well-being, but he may not be considered as mentally healthy. So sense of well-being is a desirable condition for mental health. It is not a necessary condition for mental health. A smoker may have sense of well-being out of smoking. But is he mentally healthy? No. Had he been mentally healthy, he would not have required cigarettes to feel pleasant or ecstasy. Okay? So, sense of well-being is a desirable condition. It is not a necessary condition. Now, let us see factors influencing SWB. Factors influencing sense of well-being. Perception. SWB depends upon what meaning we attach to the outcomes of life. Sense of well-being depends upon what meanings we attach to the outcomes of life. For example, people with low sense of well-being, have developed a perceptual style People with low sense of well-being have developed a perceptual style of comparing their achievements. People with low sense of well-being have developed a perceptual style of comparing their sense of well-being, comparing their achievements with someone who is better accomplished. Comparing their achievement with someone who is better accomplished. Are you getting it? तो जब भी आप अपने से ज्यादा कामयाब व्यक्ति को देखेंगे, आपको अपने अंदर एक नाकाम इंसान दिखेगा, and this will adversely affect your sense of well-being. ठीक है? Whereas people with high sense of well-being have developed a perceptual style that make them compare their lives with lives of those who are in distress. Compare their lives with lives of those who are in distress. So when you see people who are actually in suffering, you find yourself to be blessed and you feel that gratitude. अभी देखो मैं आपको बताता हूं, रुपया पैसा पोस्ट वगैरह एक पॉइंट तक आपके सेंस ऑफ वेलबींग को बढ़ा सकता है, उसके बाद इमेटेरियल हो जाता है, टोटली इमेटेरियल हो जाता है. मान लो तुम्हारे पास बहुत महंगी गाड़ी है, क्या तुम दिन भर उस गाड़ी में घूमते रहोगे? हाँ, लेकिन अगर तुम्हारा बड़ा प्यारा बच्चा है, तुम दिन भर रात भर उसके साथ खेल सकते हो. Are you getting it? So what gives you more pleasure? The things that give you pleasure, they don't require huge investment to be maintained. उनके लिए कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं चाहिए होता है. ठीक है? And if you keep comparing yourself with somebody who is better accomplished, you will always feel that you are deprived and you deserve more. So it's just the way you see the life. Just the way you see the life. And ultimately, whatever you do, if you are doing it for money, even money is earned for what? Happiness. When happiness can be earned even without money, why chasing money? Are you getting it? Why chasing money? Coping styles. Coping styles. People with low sense of well-being, focus their attention on the threats present in the problem. People with low sense of well-being focus their attention on the threats present in the problem, while people with high sense of well-being look for the possibilities. People with low sense of well-being focus upon the threats present in the problem, while people with high sense of well-being look for the possibilities. Look for the possibilities. ठीक है? अभी देखो मैं अपने प्रोफेशन का बात बता रहा हूं. During Corona, there was complete lockdown. Many of the institutions providing support to the students got shut down. and they kept waiting when the lockdown will be over and we will reopen the classrooms. Okay? But here, our institute, we took it as a possibility of providing students with online courses. We installed the necessary infrastructure and we aggressively promoted it. Now today you will be surprised to know we have equal strength online as it is in offline. Are you getting it? Now those students who could not come to Delhi, we are able to reach even them. Right now in your class, there is somebody attending class from Dubai. One person is attending class from Germany, real time. He is from Bihar, right? He has got habit of rising early, तो वो 4 बजे उठ जाता है. तो आप 8:30 बजे क्लास में आते हैं ना, वो 4 बजे उठ जाता है, उसके यहाँ 4 बज रहा होता है और वो क्लास कर रहा है, उसकी आदत है. So we are able to reach globally. Why? Because this problem brought an opportunity and possibility to reach out more students. So every problem conceals within itself a possibility. What are you looking at? That is the coping style. Okay? Attribution style. You know about this? Nothing new. People with high sense of well-being, attribute their success to internal, stable and global factors. ठीक है? While people with low sense of well-being attribute their failures to internal, stable and global factors. Sorry, इसको उल्टा कर दूं. People with low sense of well-being attribute their failures to internal, stable and global factors. So high sense of well-being. I am successful because I am intelligent. I am talented. Internal factor. My talents are genetic. They will remain forever in my life. And my talents will benefit in all walks of life, all areas of life. Global factor. So it will keep me elated. But person with low sense of well-being has a faulty attribution style. I failed because of lack of talent, internal factor. This lack of talent will continue for the whole life, stable factor. And lack of talent will make me fail in every walk of life, global factor. Okay? So attribution style also matters how one feels about life. Number 4, degree of control. Degree of control over one's desires. Degree of control over one's desires. People with high sense of well-being show greater satisfaction and contentment with life. People with high sense of well-being show greater satisfaction and contentment with life. They have the ability to delay their instant gratifications. They have the ability to delay their instant gratifications. Now see, there is a great advantage in delaying your gratifications. It always keeps you hopeful that something good is going to happen. मुझे याद है बचपन में होली आने वाला है, होली आने वाला है, हम लोग बहुत सेलिब्रेट करते थे। महीनों पहले से दोस्त लोग, होली, इस बार होली में ये करेंगे, वो करेंगे, होली आने वाला है, यार होली कब आएगा। जिस दिन होली आता था, होली आ गया, उसी दिन खत्म, पूरा मस्ती खत्म। उसके बाद कोई मस्ती नहीं, आप तो होली अगले साल आएगा। सो व्हाट आई नोटिस्ड that as long as an event is going to happen, we are happy. Once the event happens, that is the climax of happiness. The happiness is gone. So people who know how to delay their gratification, if not today, maybe year after, year later, they are always in a state of hopefulness and optimism. Okay? And this is also good for your mental health. Okay? Delay your gratification. People with low sense of well-being, people with low sense of well-being, जो कि आज के जनरेशन का एकदम ट्रेट बनता जा रहा है, शो क्विक रिच डिस्पोजिशन। क्विक रिच डिस्पोजिशन का मतलब द डिजायर टू बिकम रिच ऑल एट वंस। क्विक रिच डिस्पोजिशन। I remember when I went to ask for work for the first time. The organization in which I went for working for the first time, my first question with the employer was, "Sir, please tell me what I am supposed to deliver." And the employer took me, accepted me immediately, without taking any further interview. So I was bit curious कि क्या बात है भाई, कुछ भी नहीं पूछा, ना सब्जेक्ट के बारे में पूछा, क्या पढ़ाओगे, कैसे पढ़ाओगे, कुछ नहीं पूछा। So later on I asked him that, "Sir, you did not tell me that why did you call me for an interview when you have to know, you had no questions?" He said, "No, generally the teachers who come here to ask for work, they start with the question, what I'm going to get. You were the first person who asked, sir, what I'm supposed to deliver." Okay, that means you have lot things to deliver. Now you decide what needs to be delivered. वो पहला था। मैंने पूछा भी नहीं था कि मुझे क्या मिलेगा। पक्का टाइम पे मेरे अकाउंट में पैसा आ गया। And I was very happy the way he paid me. When I opened my institute and I started recruiting teachers, the young generation teachers, the first question was, "Sir, कितना मिलेगा?" अरे कितना मिलेगा? That depends upon तुम कितना देगा। Are you getting it? तुम क्या दोगे वो है ही नहीं। Means people have quick rich disposition overnight. They are just intolerant. ठीक है? Quick rich disposition जिनको होता है, उनका sense of well-being या degree of self control बहुत कम होता है। And therefore they keep complaining. They keep complaining with the present day achievements. They keep complaining with the present day achievements. So they just don't seems to relax. हमेशा वो कंप्लेन करते रहते हैं। Now see, I remember my father telling that his first salary was 350 rupees. मेरे पिताजी की पहली कमाई 350 रुपए थी। ठीक है? और 50 रुपए खर्च होते थे उनपे। He would spend 50 rupees and 300 rupees दादाजी के हाथ में। बैचलर आदमी 50 से ज्यादा क्या खर्च करेगा? ठीक है? और दिन भर तो ड्यूटी, पुलिस की ड्यूटी। मेरा पहला इनकम 80,000 rupees था. So the moment I got that 80,000, I thought, oh my God, my dad started with 350 and I am starting with 80,000. There is nobody a big achiever than me. तो मैं इतना खुश था उससे कि मैंने कभी उम्मीद ही नहीं की कि इससे भी बढ़ के कमाई हो सकती है. And that was the reason that I am still durable, enduring and standing. बहुत सारे लोग हैं, मेरे बहुत सारे कोलीग्स हैं जिन्होंने ये प्रोफेशन ही छोड़ दिया. क्विक रिच डिस्पोजिशन, नहीं, जल्दी मनी चाहिए, जल्दी मनी चाहिए. Some people went to share market. Some people made big success and some people got devastated forever. So this quick rich disposition make people always complaining about the present situation. जबकि प्रेजेंट सिचुएशन में आपको हैप्पीनेस मनी से तो बिल्कुल नहीं आता है. प्रेजेंट सिचुएशन में हैप्पीनेस हमेशा दोस्तों के साथ सपोर्टिव रिलेशनशिप के साथ आता है. Isn't it? Okay. Religion. Most of the religions like Buddhism. Next factor, religion. Most of the religions like Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, have advocated, Sufism bhi likho, Sufism have advocated mental detachment from material prosperity. Most of the religions like Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, Sufism have advocated mental detachment from material prosperity and leading a philanthropic life. And leading a philanthropic life. Philanthropic life means living for others. ठीक है. For example, Hinduism says Jiva is Shiva, right? Service to man is service to God. Islam provides for zakat. That means out of your total earning, you should contribute, I guess it is 10%. 10% to people who are needy. Sufism talks about finding your happiness in happiness of others. तो ये सारे रिलीजन आपको क्या बता रहे हैं? हाउ टू गेट फ्रीडम फ्रॉम मटेरियल प्रोस्पेरिटी. ठीक है. द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ निष्काम कर्मा मेंशन्ड इन भागवत गीता. The concept of Nishkam Karma mentioned in Bhagavad Gita encourages the person to live in the present, and stop worrying about the future. कर्म करो, फल की चिंता ना करो. फल की चिंता में कर्म करना मत छोड़ो. फल कल मिलेगा, कल के लिए आज को खराब मत करो. आज अगर अपना काम कर गए, फल अवश्य मिलेगा. राइट? निष्काम कर्म. Therefore, it has been found that people who are believers, experience greater sense of well-being as compared to people who are non-believers. People who are believers experience greater sense of well-being as compared to people who are non-believers. Number 6, marital status. Now I ask this class, क्या लगता है आपको? People who are married experience more sense of well-being, or people who are not married experience greater sense of well-being? Married or not married? Not married. Obviously we are not talking about spoiled marriages. I'm talking about normal marriage. ठीक है. Now see, I leave it on you to judge because it is very subjective. I'm not supposed to impose something, but I'll tell you my experience. What used to happen when I was not married? I would come back home late at night, 10:30, 11 o'clock after taking classes, hectic day. And then I would feel like sleeping because another day is waiting to begin in early morning. Suddenly, group of friends will arrive at my home at 11 o'clock. मतलब मैं मंदिर का वो घंटा था जिसको कभी भी कोई भी बजा देता था, ठीक है। और क्या हाल है, कुछ खिलाओ पिलाओ यार, ठीक है। अब देखो रात को 11 बजे आके बोलता है कुछ खिलाओ पिलाओ। जो मेरे डोमेस्टिक हेल्प है वो भी बेचारे, उसको भी तो सोने का टाइम हो गया। अब फिर से उठा, फिर से चूल्हा जुला, सब कुछ बना, खाना पीना हो रहा है, रात को 2 बज गए और मैं घड़ी देख रहा हूं सुबह 7 बजे मुझे निकलना है। मेरा अगला दिन खराब हो गया। मतलब कभी भी आ जाता था, तू तो बैचलर है, तेरे घर में आने में क्या है, ठीक है। नाउ द सेम पीपल आफ्टर मैरिज when they visit my home, they take a prior appointment a week ago and they don't come at 11 o'clock at night. They come at a decent time, 7 o'clock, and they leave within half an hour. Are you getting it? So what I found that people started behaving in more responsible manner because I'm married. और एक बहुत दुखद घटना मैं आपको बताता हूं। I applied for a loan in a bank when I was bachelor. Every document was there. IT returns लेके सब कुछ था. You know, at the 11th stage, the branch manager denied me loan. I said, why? Well, you're a bachelor. I'm like, so what? Well, bachelor people don't have stability. ना आज हैं कल नहीं है. नहीं. मैंने जब मेरी शादी हुई ना, वही मैनेजर मुझे अप्रोच किया कि सर लोन चाहिए, आप आए थे मेरे पास लोन के लिए। मैं तेरे बैंक से तो कभी लोन नहीं लूंगा, ठीक है। मतलब बैचलर आदमी कभी भी भाग सकता है, दे कैन बी एब्सकॉन्डिंग, ऐसा परसेप्शन है लोगों का। थर्ड फैक्टर क्या होता है, देयर आर मोर occasions of socialization once you are married. There are more occasions of socialization once you are married. For example, many people will not invite a bachelor in their family functions, but they will definitely like to invite couples in the family functions. Neither the bachelor will feel comfortable going in a family function where everybody is married. मेरी बात समझ रहे हैं? So according to the researches and the popular data statistics, married people show greater sense of well-being as compared to unmarried. And it is also found that happy people are likely to marry in the first place. And it is also found that happy people are likely to marry in the first place. Now I had 2 students, ठीक है? I'm talking about 2005 or 6, I guess. Year 2005 or 6. Now both these students, one was girl, another was boy. They were in affair, and they were not able to clear their PT. They have already exhausted their 3 attempts, and the family was against the relationship. So before their last attempt, they came to me and they said that sir, अब तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता हम लोगों का. लास्ट अटेम्प्ट है, अगर इसमें भी नहीं होगा तो घर वाले जहां मर्जी है हमारी शादी करवा देंगे. तो मैंने कहा यार तुम लोग को प्रॉब्लम क्या है, तुम लोग से पीटी हो क्यों नहीं रहा है? बोले कि सर हम लोग मिल नहीं सकते ना, तो हम लोग हमेशा एक दूसरे के बारे में सोचते रहते. सो आई सेड ऐसा करो, आप लोग शादी कर लो. बोला सर घर वाले खिलाफ है. हमले घर वाले शादी करेंगे, तुम शादी करोगे या घर वाले शादी करेंगे? तो आर्य समाज मंदिर में दोनों ने शादी की. एंड गेस व्हाट, 14th रैंक लड़के का, नहीं 13th रैंक लड़के का, लड़की का 15th रैंक. पीटी भी हुआ, मेन भी हुआ, सब कुछ हुआ. सो डोंट थिंक दैट मैरिज इज अ डिस्ट्रेसिंग इवेंट इन लाइफ. It actually brings great changes and more responsibilities. You know, you become more responsible after marriage. ठीक है? ऐसे मेरी बातों को सीरियसली मत लेना। हाथी के दांत खाने के और होते हैं, दिखाने के और होते हैं। Okay. So let's meet at 10:30 tomorrow. Partha, are you married? No? Better get married soon. Before all choices are exhausted.